everybody. Welcome back to ND Ice. I'm your host, David Trinko, once again alongside my co-host, as always, Lincoln Retzloff. And what can I say but welcome back? I mean, we've been on a hiatus, if you will, and pretty much, missed a whole season. I mean, didn't really miss it. You weren't really missing much, but we're glad to be back and hoping to ramp ramp up the content production. A sauce.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So just happy to be back. I graduated since we last spoke. Last episode we had was like with Reese Gaber and his father, I believe, and then before that it was the summer special with Brad. We plan on doing stuff with Brad again. I'm sure he'd be down. Lincoln, you are his TA now. Why
Mm-hmm.
don't you tell us a little bit about that? What that's like?
Yeah, so essentially I do all of the crappy work and grade papers for Brad. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really do anything. I just sit in class and if he needs any help, which he really doesn't ever need help, I help him out with.
Yeah.
Um, so really not a whole lot. And yeah, I just talk to him about lesson plans and stuff. It's really great way to watch him observe and I don't have to do homework. So it's kind of sweet.
Yeah. I bet. And I remember being in that we took that we were in his first ever class 2 falls ago in the fall of what was it? Would have been 2023.
Yeah,
Yep.
23.
And then we were in his class again last year because the class number changed. And then I
hmm
graduated and then now you're TAing for his class to get that little three-peat in there.
Yeah,
So
4 years.
it's good work.
hmm
Um yeah, so like I said a couple times I graduated and then I got a new job, so it's been kind of busy. For those of you who are wondering what it's been like. And then Lincoln's had his own sort of stuff going on as well. But right now is as good a time as any to get back into it.
hmm
Um, we'll go over some short stuff real quick before we get into the deep. Um, because it happened so recently. Man, we play UND plays Manitoba this weekend. Opens the season. Not really, but because it's an exhibition game. But there you'll finally get to see him in action for the first time. Lincoln, you got to go to the Fan Fest tonight or whatever they called the soiree at the Ralph. You got to see the scrimmage. What did you see? What did you notice when you were there, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, there's really not a whole lot that you can look at because they're constantly juggling lines, stuff like that, and they're not going full force. So that you really don't, there's nothing to take away from the scrimmage. You like I off the bat, like our good freshmen like Reshny, Verhop, you can tell they're gonna be good. But
Hmm.
overall, I did think goaltending was pretty good tonight too. I thought our goalies looked fine. Again, like it's a controlled scrimmage. You're not guys aren't Mangini is gonna be throwing Mangini's a physical guy. He's gonna throw the body and he threw
Hmm.
a he's probably the only guy. He threw a big check on Abram Weeb in the neutrals. It was kind of funny. But I mean, overall, it was just a good way. It was honestly just good to get the fans excited for Saturday and for the season. So really, it's not a whole lot to take away. Just that the team's gonna have they're gonna probably struggle right away, and it's gonna be a long road to Vegas. So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, it was a good take. I mean, if I was there, I would have been looking at maybe like, when's the last time UND's had a 6'6" goaltender on their team? I don't know if
yeah.
Peter Tomey was around that height or maybe Adam Scheel. What
hmm
did you notice the tall guys coming out right away? Like talk about
Yeah, you can
Verhoff
you
or
can you can definitely notice Verhoff how tall he is. Yeah, Homer, our starting goaltender, you can definitely notice how tall Gibson is. He looked pretty good. Like I said, it's not a game, but he did look good. He's tall. He's he's gonna have to play good this year for UND to be good. And the D are gonna have to back him up. So yeah, I mean it's fun to see all the new guys on the ice. You got to kind of learn their names. They actually played in their practice jerseys, so they had their numbers on the back, but not their names. So it was kind of
hmm.
if you didn't know necessarily, it's kind of harder to tell who some guys were. But I mean, yeah, overall, it was a good experience. I think this is probably their best uh, fan fest they've done since I think they started doing it 2 years ago again. So yeah, it was a
Hmm.
good experience, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a little weird seeing number nine out there and not seeing Sasha Boisver's face on the other side of that mask,
Mhm.
and seeing. I guess we'll get into it in a little bit here, but um, You know what I think you know what I'm hitting at
Hmm.
there. Yeah. Um, but anyway, yeah, exciting to start the season. It's been a long summer, the dog days here and getting out of the dog days, and you just kind of been waiting. You're in that weird position where you're just kind of waiting for hockey to start. Everything's pretty much panned out. All the roster moves have happened. The
Hmm.
rosters have been finalized, and kind of just waiting for it to start. So thank God it's happening, within the next week.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it started weird with when Barry got canned and then Jax got hired. And I think for a bit, everyone was kind of wondering, oh man, I think the coaching staff probably thought we might not be that good. And then they got guys back. They pulled Reshny Verhoff, got other guys coming in, and they really pulled everything together over the summer. And then we kind of hit August, slowed down. UND football started, kind of been paying attention to that. And I think everyone's kind of just itching for the season to start here. So yeah,
yeah.
like you said, we're in the dog days, but I mean, what we're recording this on the 30th, or what, 3 or 4 days from puck drop. So
hmm
exhibition play, I suppose. But yeah.
It'll be good. Yeah, so let's do a little quick review of last year because we didn't cover it really in terms of the podcast anyway. On Instagram we did and other avenues, but so big news at the end of the year, one that you weren't really expecting. It's one of those, I mean, it's never happened since you and I have been alive. You're sitting in bed, watching whatever Sopranos or whatever you're watching, and maybe it's Suits for you, and then you just see that banner come down, and it's Bradbury out as head coach from
Mm-hmm.
UND, and something you don't expect to see. I mean, it was in the questions, and it's something that the fans bark about, whenever we miss the tournament. You know, Bradbury needs to get canned, or sometimes they say it all season long when we lose against a team like Miami, a team that you just can't lose to. And
Mm-hmm.
then to see it finally happen is definitely not super expected. And then there's some backlash with his daughters and stuff like that on social media and seeing that kind of shit. I can't believe that it's already been, I don't know, has it been 4 months since that
Yeah,
happened?
it's been a
Over
bit.
4 months. So
Yeah.
it's interesting for sure. Yeah, so I mean, before we get really into that, let's go over a little bit of the season. UND missed tournament for the second time in 3 years, the fourth time in Bradbury's tenure, minus the COVID season, which they would have made, but obviously didn't happen. I We'll get into that in a sec. Sorry, I'm kind of going all over the place. But UND had opportunities to kind of claw their way back, and it's one of those seasons where they kind of started out slow and had issues. Um, but at the end of the day, Brad's out, and I think and then we'll go to you, Link, in a second on this for your opinion. But I think it's not so much when you look at Bradbury's track record of winning, what was it, three, four Penrose Cups, five maybe? No, was it four? Let's
Mm-hmm.
see, 16. 20, 21. Yep. Four, five? No, five? Yeah, he won five, right? Yeah, 22 and
Sounds right. Yeah.
yeah. So kind of looks bad on me for kind of guessing that, but five and then, making the tournament and then winning a national championship. I mean, you look at that track record, if you're hiring a coach, it's pretty good. But I think the no bullshit kind of aspect of it comes from Bill Chaves, we're paying to host the regional and Bradbury misses it 2018 when we were hosting Sioux Falls, 2019 in Fargo, made it in 2021, um, 2023 in Fargo, and 2025 in Fargo. I mean, you missed it
Mm-hmm.
4 times we were hosting it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the year prior, last year, we could have gone to Sioux Falls and played if we would just beaten Omaha once, and we couldn't fucking do that. So I think a lot of it comes from that. You pay a lot of money to host regional, and Bradbury just can't get it done whenever it matters in that year. So I think that's a big part of it. What do you think, Lincoln?
Yeah, I think there was a big emphasis on that. I also too think kind of at the end of the year, I mean, teams just weren't peaking at the right times necessarily. Guys, I just felt like and this is a separate issue with NIL and whatnot, but there were guys on the team who were just not committed and they weren't playing good.
Hmm.
They looked awful. A lot of these guys are on different teams right now, and it was embarrassing. And you'd watch them in the D zone, and you're like, this is not North Dakota
Jaden
hockey.
Perron.
It's like, yeah, you can go out and score a power play goal here and there, but you can't we couldn't win faceoffs besides Jake Schmaltz. We couldn't win a draw. And we have forwards out there who predominantly are not in the team anymore, who if we aren't starting with possession are awful. They're terrible. They're the worst graded players in college hockey. And there's a reason they're out in the East Coast right
Hmm.
now or in the Big Ten. But it's just I don't know. I mean, I think there was something missing from the Brad Berry teams, from what it sounded like. I don't think Brad Berry had a concrete plan going forward. There's again
Hmm.
another thing. He was in a contract year. Normally, with a lot of coaches, they sign an extension during that contract year when the contract's ending. Brad Berry
Hmm.
had not done that. I would assume, I don't know if Bill Chase went into the end of season meeting with him going, "Hey, I'm letting him go." I bet he gave Brad a chance to be like, "Okay, we're gonna do this." And from what I've heard, I just don't think the meeting went well. And I think, Penrose Cups, they're nice, but why are we peaking at a Penrose Cup and then
Hmm.
crapping the bed routinely? And this is something that's always happened, crapping the bed in our conference tournament and then inevitably not doing well in the regional or not
Hmm.
going in. It's just there's a lot of reasons. And Brad Berry won us a championship. He was here for a long time. And at the end of the day, I think Shave said this too. Like 10 years is a long time to be a head coach, and it's okay to make changes. And I think obviously what Brad Berry
Hmm.
did for this program will never be forgotten. And it is unfortunate the way it ended because I do feel like there is a bit of a taint on his legacy. I'm sure things will cool over
Hmm.
eventually, but I just think looking back, change had to be made. It was going to happen eventually, and it sucks the way it went down. But I mean this is college sports, and when you want to be the best program in the country, and I'm sure there's pressure on Shaves to be a great athletic director. He had to make a decision, and this is just how it ended up being. So
Hmm. Yeah, you got to adapt with the times, and I think hiring a new head coach who has a concrete plan, and I'm sure Bradbury and Dane Jackson's plans and outlook were a little bit different, the way that they
mhm.
wanted to operate the locker room and operate the team and the program. Um, and at the end of the day, Dane had a concrete plan, and right now, I mean, it's hard to tell how it's going to work with the new guys. I mean, there's what, 12, is it 12 or 15 new guys on this roster?
I think it's 15.
15.
I think, yeah.
Um, it's hard to tell how it's going to work out right now, but I mean, hiring a general manager for the first time in college hockey officially is a step that, I mean, again, you don't really know what that's going to do. It looks good right now. I mean, we're sitting at the number two recruiting class ranked by College Hockey News. Well, it's hard to tell if it was two or if it was just top three all can be interchanged. It was us, Michigan State, and Boston University. But
Hmm.
right now it looks like it's working out pretty decently. But again, that's hard to tell. It's going to translate to the ice. On paper, it looks really good. But um, so yeah, Brad Berry out as head coach after 10 years at the helm, and Carl Gehring, the goalie coach, former national champion for UND, and long-term staff member for UND, is out as well. He got a job at St. Thomas, which I think is a good position for him. He's not too far. A new program, a program he never played. Not that that matters, but a program he can help out and one that's on the rise. I mean, they're getting a new building. The Leon Penny Anderson Arena is opening this year. That was huge for them for their basketball, hockey programs. And I think St. Thomas is going to be on the rise for sure. I think that's a good role for him to grow into. And who knows how long Rico Blasi is going to be around. Probably for a while, but he could go get a job somewhere else and maybe leave a spot open for Carl, or Carl can grow and go into a different role somewhere else if he wants. But on the other hand here for players on the way out, we have Jaden Perron leaving for Michigan, Owen McLaughlin and Sasha Boisvert, a little twofer going to Boston University on a to save some money, and they're taking the same flight, buying the tickets in bulk. Jaden Perron's a funny one because we didn't Lincoln and I knew before the season was over that he was going there. We had heard murmurs, if you will. There was murmuring going on that he had already decided weeks before the season was over that he was going to Michigan, and obviously that became true. Doesn't look good, uh, especially if you're a teammate of Jaden that he's already quit on the team and knows where he's playing next year. Um, Personally, for me, see you later, buddy. I mean, I don't want you if you don't want to be here. It's an honor to wear that jersey and play for this program. And if you don't want to, then get the fuck out of here. Don't care. If you don't want to be around for this new era, then don't be around for this new era. Oh, McLaughlin, I heard, I mean, you can kind of tell, but he's just a guy who I heard from people on the team that he doesn't really want to work. And Dane Jackson is more about work than I feel like Bradbury might be. At least discipline. And I feel like that's one of the reason why he's out the door. And then Boisvert obviously got offered, what was it, maybe 100K? Do you remember how much it was specifically?
Yeah, I've heard between. I mean, we're not gonna know. I would assume it's anywhere between 50 and 150K. I would be pretty shocked if he got more than 100 grand's really steep for college hockey. So I mean 100 I've heard around that number. It's probably
Hmm.
somewhere in that ballpark. It's pretty high. He had a lot of people in his ear telling him what
Yeah.
to do. A lot of agents. It just not good. And
Hmm.
you know what? It's unfortunate that that's how college sports are. But I mean, yeah, he
Hmm.
definitely he definitely got more money than here. But I think at the end of the day, I'd like to believe it came down to more than just money too for him.
Yeah. Yeah, and a little bit of a weird situation for him leaving because the people on UND campus who are students, and there are a lot of sure it's spread on Twitter a lot and on social
Hmm.
media, but shortly before Sasha had announced that he was leaving the university, he had gotten into a scruffle at uh, Pike on campus here at UND, a fraternity, and he got into a fight with a couple other guys who are still on the team actually. Um, but Sasha was a part of it. That was the main piece there. And I think I remember at the time, a couple days I had heard that he had, I don't know if we'd call it a fight, but he caused a ruckus at the Red Pep during the middle of the week when
Hmm.
he wanted food
Allegedly.
and they were closed. So he made a
Hmm.
ruckus and let him know. Um, who are you want to go and talk about the other guys that left? Maybe lesser, not necessarily less important, but those who might
Yeah.
be forgotten.
I mean, we had a lot of seniors go, that's for sure too.
Hmm.
Lost Tanner Comzak. I mean, at the end of the day, we graduated guys, we lost guys to the portal. It's it's just how it goes. And I'm blanking on everyone we left right now. I don't have it written down, but I mean, yeah, I mean, there's guys you're gonna miss, like Jake Schmaltz. That would be a great guy to have again in the dot, but losing him to
Hmm.
graduation. Jackson Kuntz really came around at the end of his career. Goaltending, Felter was Felter. You know, he was fine. He was really good at the end of the year. I'll give him that. He was spectacular at the end of the year. He put UND in more games than UND probably should have been in. Hobie Hedquist gone too. Um, yeah, I mean, and obviously losing Caleb Johnson due I mean, just an absolute locker room guy. Tough to see
Hmm.
that. Tough to see him, you know, with his injury and whatnot, knowing he was in pain essentially all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's just that's how it goes. You're gonna lose guys, and at the end of the day, it's focus on where we're at now, and can't dwell on
Yep,
the past too much.
for sure. So one of the big landscapes that changed in college hockey this year, and I think it's going to ultimately benefit the sport as a whole, definitely benefits college hockey, that's for sure, is um, the NCAA rule change that changes the designation of the WHL from, I mean, they allowed the WHL players to come and play, or I shouldn't say WHL, the CHL players to come and play in the college, in U.S. college NCAA. Did they, for the official ruling, did they changed the recognition of it? Did they change it from pro to amateur according to NCAA rules? Is because they or how what's the specifics on that? Do you remember right now? I don't have it
Yeah, I
written
don't know
down.
the specifics with the court case. I think it was decided back in November, I want to say.
Yeah.
So it's happened for a while, and obviously
Yeah.
we're reaping the benefits from it now. Yeah, I don't know the exact parameters of however 100,000 page lawsuit it was, but yeah, all that
Yeah.
matters is that CHL guys are eligible. Kind of on
Hmm.
that topic now, we have guys who are played games in the
Yep.
AHL and ECHL coming to play college, which
Yep.
I think that's ridiculous. If you've made money in the pros, this is just a rabbit
I
hole
know
we
the
could go down
rule
and argue all
if you
day,
need
and
me
it's
to.
it's yeah,
The rule for those who don't know is um they don't change the designation of what those leagues mean, but if you've made the total sum of money that you've acquired or made playing in those leagues is less than what college costs, basically,
yep,
you're allowed to play college hockey.
mm-hmm,
But another rule that's specific to it is believe there's always an eligibility clock that's ticking as soon as you hit 21 years old. So I think the clock of 4 years starts at 21. So if you're 23, and I could be wrong, but this is from what I remember reading about like a week ago. Um, this is when that Beck guy committed to Arizona State. Uh, the clock starts, your eligibility starts at 21 and it goes for 4 years. So it's whatever comes first. Like you can be 18, you can be 19 and have played and come in from the AHL technically, and you can play for 4 years if you want. But if you're 23 and you played in the AHL, you can come down as long as the money works and you get cleared. You go through a clearinghouse to get approved to play, but also your eligibility, I think, would just be 2 years if you're 23 years old.
yeah, it sounds right.
So, yeah, again, that's another piece of that's changing in college hockey. You're starting to see, like you said, um, let people come from the AHL and the ECHL. I do think that's a little weird. Like you don't see college basketball teams pulling people from the G League. Like that's not
I actually
happening.
do think it just happened though.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, I believe it just happened like last week. I don't know the who it was, but I'm pretty sure it just happened. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I don't know the specifics on that, but I heard it happen. But yeah,
Oh, well, college as a whole then is changing. That's interesting.
hmm
Um, so yeah, that entails a lot, allowing CHL players to come in. We've seen a lot of commits come into college this summer recruiting cycle, if you will. I mean, recruiting can happen anytime, but it happens a lot during the summer, especially this summer with all the rules have changed. The biggest name, obviously, Gavin McKenna going to Penn State. I mean, they broadcasted that on ESPN as commitment thing, and the quality was literally this right now, like your computer right now,
yeah,
and he's just puts on a Penn State hat. Huge news for them. And they just came off of a Frozen Four appearance underneath
hmm
head coach Godowski, who just got his son to come into Penn State. Will be an interesting team to watch. Porter Martone, another one going to Michigan State. That was a guy who was also being recruited by quite a few big schools, and Michigan State was in the hunt for Gavin McKenna, one of the final teams. And once Gavin McKenna committed to Penn State, Martone kind of went to Michigan State for the leftover
hmm
money. UND obviously got NHL first round draft pick. Is he 18th overall or 16th overall?
Breshny.
I can check actually. I don't know why I'm. Question it here.
He's first rounder. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he's 18th overall. The Calgary
Yeah,
Flames.
Calgary.
And then the same day you get Keaton Verhoff, who at the time of his commitment was 6'4", 220 some pounds, and he's 16 years old. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a big fella.
He's accelerating his education and coming in this year for his freshman year, and is projected to go second overall right now.
Hmm.
Some people think he can challenge Gavin McKenna for that first overall pick. A lot of shit's got to go right for that to happen, but you can be optimistic if you're a UND fan or Keaton Verhoff. Um, maybe the biggest recruiting day in UND hockey history. Maybe. Definitely a good way to kick off your recruiting career for Bryn Chiswick. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, no
Um,
doubt about that.
two of the, I mean, you already had Will Zellers coming in. Two pretty damn big pieces to this freshman class. Depends on how long the longevity of that commitment depends on how long they decide to stay. But right now it looks pretty good. What do you think, Lincoln?
Yeah, I mean, once again, credit to the coaching staff for putting a salary or putting a team together in the amount of time they had. If I'm in their position, I'm looking at the portal, and you look, there was no one in the portal. The portal was pretty dead. Mangini and Rickwood were great pickups, by the way, for
Hmm.
you too. That's something we should highlight. Our portal pickups were really good on our
Hmm.
part, considering there was really nothing in there. Like I said, we
Yeah,
knew
not much.
Makadowski was going to go play for his dad. A lot of the guys that already went into the portal were done deals. Like it's like, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
they're all things considered, the portal was pretty slim pickings, and we came out of that on top too. But no, our freshman class is just made up of a lot of great players. Josephson, Larilla, um, Klee Kernan.
A
I
lot of
think
captains, surprisingly.
yes, that's something that I think Chiswick, Smaby, Simpson, and Jax are all kind of hitting on. They're getting guys who are going to be leaders, and I think that's a big deal. Where I know UND's always gone for guys who are leaders in the past, but there's been locker room issues before. I mean, there's always going to be locker room issues. That's something that's going to happen. But I think just the fact that we're targeting guys who are going to be captains,
Hmm.
who were captains before, will be captains now, and will probably be captains in the NHL one day. That's a good sign, and I hope we continue to do that. And it's going to be a reflection upon when times get tough at the start of the year how our team handles adversity. So I
Hmm.
think just having a bunch of leaders in the locker room is going to benefit greatly.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that you kind of notice when you're going through the commits for this summer, especially. There's a lot of guys, like you said, who are captains at all levels. I mean, you have Ian Engel who captained Bismarck Bobcats of the NAL, and you got guys who captain teams in the CHL.
Hmm.
So it should be really interesting to see how that translates to the locker room presence, like you said, and overall team success.
Yeah.
Moving forward, um, we'll go over kind of. We should just go over the roster real quick. I got it lined up. I'll just go over
All
everyone
right. Yeah. Just read through
in
it.
order from their number from 1 to 35. We got incoming transfer from Duluth. I remember when he committed to Duluth, a Fargo native, Zach Sandy. Great guy. Met him quite a few times. A good piece of a guy who wants to be here. Might not necessarily get the opportunities to play that he wants, but nevertheless, a guy who wants to be here, wants to work, knows what the program's about, can be a leader in the locker room.
Yeah.
Uh, if you look, take a step back, it's pretty much your cheese replacement. I mean, both played high school hockey in North Dakota, both great kids. Both have the ability to lead in the locker room without leading necessarily by performance on the ice. Number two, your captain this year, Bennett Zamolik, coming off of a full injured season last year, played one game, looked like he was going to play against Mankato, against his old team, didn't play. Um, Guy who's committed to the program, wants to play. We can go over the whole captaincy stuff in a little bit. You just got to hope that he can stay healthy down the stretch here. He's a good piece, blocks a lot of shots, good defenseman, the guy you look to for leadership, especially with the injuries he's had. He's already missed 2 full seasons of college hockey. Number three, Jaden Jubinville. I believe he is a sophomore, correct?
Hmm.
Doesn't say here. Uh, Good old Gilbert Plains, Manitoba had a big play at the end of the year in Omaha, sent us to the St. Paul. Uh, we'll go on to number four, a guy who was also in the talks for captaincy, junior Jake Livanovich from Gilbert Plains, Arizona. Going to be a guy you look to run quarterback to power play,
Hmm.
guy who can move the puck well, break out of the zone, and make good passes, and contribute on the score sheet while also breaking down plays. And then Lincoln, you can chip in anytime you want if you have a comment on a guy. Uh, Number six, EJ Emery, sophomore from Surrey, British Columbia. Oh, that can't be right. Um, we'll just say from Compton because that's where we know he's really from. Don't even have to look at it. Um, Draft pick of New York Rangers last year, same draft as Sasha. A guy you're looking to just kind of take a step forward here this season. Number seven, Max Swanson. Um, this is out of whack, dude. It says he's from Nuremberg, Germany, bro. He's from Fairbanks or Anchorage. He's from
Anchorage,
Anchorage,
yeah.
Alaska. What
Hmm.
the hell is this shit? Maybe that's his youth. No, that can't be his youth team. That wouldn't make any sense either. So Max Swanson, sophomore year, another guy who you're looking to just take a step, had growing pains freshman year, a guy who has a lot of talent, a lot of skill. He's at the USHL level. Um, he's coming in. He's in his sophomore year with we got back-to-back USHL Player of the Years and Forward of the Years coming in or on the team this year, I guess you could say. Number eight, a new face, Ole Josephson. I'm not even gonna read the fucking place because I know that's not fucking true. Uh, yeah, Ole Josephson, draft pick of the Seattle Kraken, played for the Red Deer Rebels for the last 3.5 seasons and was the captain there. Lincoln, you got any words on him? New guy.
I've heard he's a stud, so watch out for him. Natural born leader too. So yeah, watch for him to sneak his way into the lineup. If he's gonna play. He's I've heard good things about him. He's gonna be a good player.
Sweet. Number nine, Will Zellers. Besides the two guys that we pulled in from, ooh, where are they from now? Where are they? Victoria Royals.
Hmm.
Besides the two guys from the Victoria Royals, who we'll get to here, Will Zellers is the most touted prospect that was originally coming in last year, or not coming in last year, but you know what I mean. Committed. He
Hmm.
was going to come in this year, but before the whole coaching change. Um, Stud set the goal record for the Green Bay Gamblers last year, all-time franchise goal record, forward of the year of the USHL, USHL Player of the Year. I believe he won U.S. Amateur Player of the Year or Junior Player of the Year.
Sounds right.
Um, Guy who's not the biggest, but obviously has a lot of talent, can put the puck away. Guy you're gonna want to keep an eye on. Lincoln, you got any thoughts here?
Yeah, he's gonna be a goal scorer. He might end up on the playing power play too, so watch for him out there. I would just yeah, just watch him rip pucks. He's gonna be good.
So, a guy we just next up right now, number 11, the guy we just talked about a little bit earlier, captain of the Bobcats, Ian Engel. He will be a freshman this year. Another one of those guys that, you know, we recruited that is a captain. Another guy that could be a potential leader down the road or right away. Number 13, another highly sought after guy that we've been looking at for a couple years now is Sam Larilla, Moorhead, Minnesota native. played in the U.S. National Development Team Development Program and the Fargo Force, and a draft pick of the New York Islanders. He'll be wearing the number 13. Number 14 is Tyler Young. Um, he's a freshman. No, never mind. He's the Merrimack transfer. That's right.
Yeah.
So he'll play his final year of eligibility out in Grand Forks. Um, Jack Kernan, number 15. He was originally committed to Minnesota State. Ended up flipping his transfer. He played for the Des Moines Buccaneers in the USHL last year. He'll be a freshman this fall. Number 16, sophomore Andrew Strothman, the Columbus Blue Jackets draft pick. Looking for him to take a step forward this year. Wearing number 17 is none other than Cole Reshney, the 18th overall draft pick in this year's NHL draft, property of the Calgary Flames. He'll probably step right into a top six role. What do you think, Lincoln?
No doubt. Yeah, he'll be top six.
He'll have he'll probably play center and winger throughout the year. We'll see where he gets stuck right away.
Mm-hmm.
Number 18, the big name of the freshman class, uh, for national notoriety anyway, Keaton Verhoff, the potential second overall pick in next year's NHL draft. 6'4", 212 right-handed defenseman. Um, Super. I mean, he just captained Canada in the summer showcase, right? One of those. It
Yeah, it
was either
might
the
have been the
summer showcase or
Gretzky.
the Gretzky
Gretzky.
Hlinka Cup.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be good. He's gonna probably struggle right away a little bit. It's gonna be an adjustment, but
Hmm.
overall, good player, big get for our team.
For sure. Number 19 is sophomore Cody Kroll. He'll hopefully take a step. Played decent last year. Number 20, Cade Littler, sophomore this year as well. Number 21, Ben Strinden, senior this year. Uh, he got an A draft property of the Nashville Predators. Cade Littler, sorry, he's a draft pick of the Calgary Flames as well. I forgot to mention that. Wearing number 22 is David Klee, who is a freshman, just came off of a 45-point season in 58 games for the Muskegon Lumberjacks last year. Was he a captain for them? Muskegon? He
He
was, wasn't
definitely
he?
wore a letter. Yeah, I want to say he was a captain. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
thinking
that
that.
he wore a letter.
Yeah. Um, Number 24, Joshua Zakariski. Is that how you say it?
Zakrensky,
What?
Zakrensky.
Zakrensky? Sorry. It's one of those ones that you kind of have to like hear it to throw it together. Um, he was the first guy we had committed that was from the CHL.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then junior, number 25, Abram Weeb, also wearing a letter this year. Great defenseman. Really looking forward to having him on the team again this year. Uh, Property of the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 26, you already know it. Senior Dylan James from Calgary, Alberta. Some of the fastest legs in the league. Looking to take yet another step this year.
Mm-hmm.
Number 27, the transfer from Minnesota Duluth, Anthony Mangini, the Brainerd, Minnesota native, undrafted, but looking to add to the culture and the on ice. He's got skill. Uh, One of the better, if not the best, depending on what you're looking at, transfer coming in this year. Uh, Not very often you come around a guy who's got his skill, who's in the transfer portal, and grew up a UND fan. So another guy who kind of gets the culture, knows what it means, or it just means something extra to wear our jersey, wear the UND jersey, something you look for. Number 28, Dalton Andrew. We'll move on. Number 29, Elias Rickwood. He is the other highly touted transfer we got this year from Clarkson. He'll
Hmm.
be a good centerman here this year, probably in a top six role. If not, I guess maybe he could play a shutdown line. What do you think? Where do you think he'll be?
Rickwood,
Hmm.
he'll play. He should play top 6 minutes, I'd assume.
Hmm.
They just need an old. They needed an old center. He's the guy they needed. So,
Hmm. Oh, I forgot. Who was the guy from Michigan Tech, the guy we had, and then he dipped out because they got a new coach and they opened up eligibility to go back. Fuck, what was his name?
Gordon.
Yeah, Isaac Gordon. He would have been nice to have, but at the end of the day, he's got to do what he's got to do. To our last two goaltenders here, number 31, Gibson Homer, the big guy. Uh, says 6'5" here, but I'm pretty sure he's 6'6". Could be wrong.
Hmm.
Whether or not he's a fucking stud, that guy's huge. He's already coming into his junior year. He's a transfer from Arizona State. We've already played against him before. It'll be cool to see uh where the transfer goalie pipeline takes us this year, huh, Lincoln?
Hmm.
What do we have? Fucking,
You never know.
is this year six of doing it? Or year five?
Hmm. I don't even know, dude. I've stopped
See
keeping track.
Driscoll, DeRitter, Person. This is year five. Okay. And then our first goalie commit that came in that, I mean, he just committed and came in. We've had Caleb Heil waiting around for a while, but Jens Spunar, is that how you say it? Spunar?
I think so. Yeah.
The Czech goaltender. Hopefully he should be pretty good. That's kind of a situation where you kind of ride with Gibson and then kind of warm Jan into the lineup wherever you need Gibson to
Correct.
sit and rest, and then you can bring in Caleb Howell next year because probably inevitably Gibson Homer is going to sign somewhere after this year
Yeah.
because he's got an NHL frame on him, so it'll be pretty sought after the free agent market this summer. And then you're kind of hoping Jan will slide into that starter role for next year, and then Caleb can do the same thing and develop that Jan did. Um,
Hmm.
we'll kind of move in now that we've kind of reviewed the roster a little bit. We'll kind of move into some of our predictions, some of our expectations, stuff like that. Um, Lincoln, do you want to start with what you think UND needs to do to be successful this season?
Yeah. They need to be harder to play against. I think that's the biggest thing that's lacked the last few years. You look at the best teams UND has had. You know, not necessarily in the Brad Berry era. I mean, include some of those, but in the past, like they were just tough to play against. Like they had skilled guys, but they had guys who were puck possession, would win faceoffs for you. Um, and then they would just grind you down in the offensive zone. And that's kind of something I feel like we've missed out on. Like we've had good players, but not to go back to the guys that transferred out, those guys weren't hard to play against. They weren't good defensively. And even in the offensive zone, they unless they were on the power play, they just couldn't generate. So we need guys who can, cycle the puck, move the puck, win faceoff, make breakouts, yeah, play defense, but if you're constantly controlling the puck, controlling the possession of the play, you're going to win games because you're going to draw penalties, you're going to score, you're going to tire teams down. And that's just what the best teams in college hockey do right now. And you see that a lot with the older teams because they're bigger, they're stronger, they can do that. So I mean, I think that's the big thing it's going to come down to this year.
Hmm.
We got to control the puck, we got to grind teams down. You look at some of the greatest lines in UND hockey history, uh, Pony Express, Dot Line, CBS Line. Yeah, they were high skilled, high octane lines, but those lines possessed the puck all the time.
Hmm.
And when they weren't on D, they were trying to get the puck.
Hmm.
And that's what we need to kind of get back to is having lines that are just controlling the pace of play, controlling the puck.
Relentless.
That's the perfect word. They need to be relentless at all times. And damn well Dane Jackson's hammering that. There's going to be no more coasting on D, no more. If you're where it should be at the point to where if you're not going to play defense or if you're going to make crappy plays in the ozone, you're just going to get benched. Like there were guys last year who should have been benched and they weren't.
Hmm.
So I mean that at the end of the day, let's just control the puck and just make smart plays too. So yeah.
Yeah, great take. I think you covered a lot of the specs there. We'll move into uh expectations for UND this year. I think I'll kind of start when people ask me or my outlook on whenever someone asks me where's UND going to end this season? What's the ceiling for UND? Um, and we'll get to the floor in a second, but I think the ceiling always is win a national championship. I think it's extremely hard to do, and a lot of things have to go right, of course, but I'm a believer in that any team can do it. Just a lot of shit has to go right, has to go your way. You have to have good puck luck come tournament time, and that might sound like something that's a little, far-fetched, but it happens. Teams have bad puck luck in the tournament and it costs them games. Obviously, there are mistakes that are made that contribute to those, but you have to hope for good puck luck. You can outplay a team and still lose because shitty shit happens. You might take a bounce
Hmm.
off the glass by jumping the puck in the zone and it flies off the stanchion and your goalie goes back behind the net and plays it or whatever, something like that. Anything like that, weird bounces. But one of the killers that can bring you to the top is your goalie has to play right at the right time. You're hoping obviously to have a good goaltender all year long, but I remember talking, Lincoln, you remember this 2 years ago with uh Brad Schlosson, and we were talking in a restaurant about who we thought was going to be in the Frozen Four, who we thought had legitimate chances to win the national championship, and Denver won that year. And Denver was not in the question for any of us because of their
No,
goaltending. Davis had played mid all year long and proceeded to play out of his fucking mind come tournament time. I think he let in 3 goals all tournament long, which is bizarre.
ridiculous.
If you can get hot at the right time, your goalie can. If you have a game-breaking goaltender, that's amazing. I mean, they can win you games. They can steal you games. Yeah, your goalie has to get hot at the right time. So I think that the ceiling always is national championship. Again, it's rare that that happens. We haven't seen it in probably was it been 10 seasons now? 10 full seasons, but
Hmm.
not 10 years. Um, I think the floor, I like to think that this team's not going to miss tournament, but we've thought that the last couple of years and we have managed to do it somehow. But I think the way history has gone, where we've had a first year head coach, the eyes are on you, pressure's on. We've had the last two first year head coaches make it to the national championship game. Brad Berry was able to win it in his first year. Not saying that Dane Jackson's going to make it to the championship game, but I think that he should at least be able to push this team into the tournament. We'll know a couple weeks in kind of where the season's going to go, but expectations are high right now. You want to see some change after missing the tournament. When you're a new hire, there's a
Hmm.
lot of pressure. I think that the expectations are not necessarily. I think you want to finish top three in the NCHC. St. Cloud State's not going to be up there. I'd like to think Duluth's going to maybe be top half, but I don't know if they're going to be. They're not going to be top three. I'd say Denver, us, and Western are top three right now.
I think you can pencil that in. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
assume. I mean, anything can happen, but
hmm Denver will be a little interesting because they've lost so much in the forward, so many
hmm
forwards, but they still have that good decor.
hmm
And so they'll be an interesting team to watch. And then Western obviously doesn't have a big recruiting class, but they killed it in the transfer portal. So they'll be another good team who retained a lot of talent from last year. They don't have an amazing freshman class, but they have really good transfers and that helps them out. But
those
UND,
both those teams also have good coaching too. So that's another thing.
exactly.
You have good coaching, that's proven you're gonna win games. David Carl,
hmm
multiple Frozen Fours.
hmm
So it's like, yeah,
hmm
I mean, good
Absolutely.
coaching.
Yep. And kind of forgot where I was going to go with that, but um,
Oh,
yeah,
I can talk about it.
Real quick, the expectations, I just think, yeah, finish top three, make the tournament, and yeah, I kind of forgot where I was going with that. You can go ahead then.
Yeah, I would say um the tournament is a I just think the team I'm not really necessarily focused on I think Dane Jackson this year is actually, every year it's been let's do one thing at a time. Penrose, the national whatever stupid conference whatever
The
cup now that we
national
get.
trophy.
Yeah. We've always done it, one at a time, like win home ice, blah blah blah. Which, I understand that. That's a smart way to look at it. I and because you don't want to get lost looking into the future. I wonder if Dane Jackson's going to put more emphasis on, you know, the tournament this. I think he is because you know what? Yeah, let's focus on the Penrose Cup, but those games that we're losing to Bemidji State are affecting us getting into the national tournament.
hmm
When we go to overtime against Robert Morris, that's affecting us getting to the national tournament. So I think Jax is going to put a pretty big emphasis on, you know what, all these games matter. Tournaments are a goal, right? And if you focus on the national tournament, you're gonna win the Penrose Cup. You're going to, you know what I mean? Like I just feel
Indirectly,
like
you're gonna win.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, because yeah. Another thing too, I mean, expectations wise, I think like you said, it's pretty cliche, but we expect to win national championships.
hmm
There's a reason Dane Jackson's already brought it up. I think every time he talks, he'll be like, "Oh, we'll be in Vegas," and I love that. That's a good way to look at it. I do truly believe there I think the ceiling for this team, and I'd love to see him win a national championship. If I had to absolutely guess, though, I would say the ceiling's making it to the Frozen Four.
hmm
And I'm not saying if we get to the Frozen Four, we won't win a national championship. I just think it's so hard to do. And if we get lucky, like you were talking about, puck luck's a big thing. But when we just haven't routinely been there, I think it's
hmm
hard. I mean, if we make the Frozen Four, that would be a big deal.
Be sick.
And you
Absolutely.
know what? Anything can happen in Vegas with our fans. So I mean, I just don't know. It's hard in the floor.
hmm
I don't know what the floor is. Like you said, I don't see why this team would miss the tournament. Again,
hmm
something we should note, this team's gonna have growing pains. They're young.
Yep.
Our D what do we have though? We have a
That's
good
what I was gonna say.
leadership. We have
Yep.
an
Okay.
outstanding decor, and right now it looks like we have a good goaltending. So we
Yep.
have the tools to make the tournament. That's really all that matters, in my opinion.
Yeah. Back in now, you just reminded me what I was gonna say. It's yeah. Don't really know exactly what to expect coming into a season where you got 15 new guys, but I think it does help to UND's benefit that they've done it the last couple of years, having to replace a lot of guys, having a lot of turnover and being able to replace them and bring them into the culture. And obviously, there's a whole new culture coming in this year. I think that's also something that's really exciting about this team is that there's a new coach,
Mhm.
uh, almost a completely new coaching staff.
It
I
feels
mean,
different too, you
it
know.
feels different. It looks different. You got the new jerseys and stuff. It looks different, feels different. You just gotta think it's gonna be a step in the right direction and something just I have a good feeling about it. I mean, I think that
Yeah.
that's something pretty universal right now. A lot of people are
No.
feeling is high hopes
Right.
anytime you go into a change like this. A lot of shit's gonna change and some things are gonna go wrong and you gotta deal with
Hmm.
that one step at a
Hmm.
time. But at the same time, we're in a good, UND's in a good spot right now, I think.
Hmm.
Eh, I think that the hopes are high. They did what they could do. I think the best that they could do in the offseason with what we were needed to plug holes with. UND, I mean, we're a young team. UND's a young team. They're gonna have, like you said, growing pains, and it's gonna come down. You'll be able to tell pretty early on how good the team's gonna be. I mean, you got to give them some more time, but
Hmm.
you gotta wonder if
Right.
it's gonna be one of those years where we see how the team is right away, or if it's gonna be like a Dave Hackstall year where you kind of the team kind of gels together and shows up kind of the second half of the season. But
Exactly. And I just felt like the last few years we get past, we get into January, and I don't know, we saw what was in front of us, and I don't,
Hmm
we always wanted to hold out hope because you got to do that, but
hmm
I felt like there was just a feeling in your stomach where you just knew the season
Yeah, you
just
were calling it
wasn't.
pretty early last year.
Yeah, I was known for that. Um, but yeah, even just into the year, like you're just looking at how things are going and just like the pattern with the teams Bradbury had
hmm
in towards the end of his time, and you just kind of felt like the season's. I don't want to call it done, but it's like there's going to be a miracles that's going to need to happen, and there's this
hmm
miracle is not going to happen this year. The whole season is going to be interesting because we don't know how Dane Jackson teams are going to trend. Are they going to follow the Hackstall trend where they start slow and finish good? Are we going to start good and finish good? Like we don't know what's going to happen. So there's really
hmm
no reason if you're a Unity fan to be. I mean, if it's February and we have a losing record, okay, that's one thing. But there's just I as long as UND's in contention to make the tournament, I don't. It's not like it's a Bradbury team, and I'm not knocking on Bradbury, but it's not like you can kind of sense a downfall happening or guys aren't playing good. You know what? With I'm rambling here. At the end of the day, we're just gonna have to see what happens. Like no one
hmm
knows until we watch Dane Jackson, Matt Smithy,
Right,
Dylan Simpson, and Bryn Shizik's team they put out on the ice and how this goes. And I'm that's what I'm
right,
most excited for. I think every weekend is gonna be good. I'm not gonna go into a series being like, oh, we're fucked. Like every weekend's gonna
right.
be.
Yeah. Yeah, good points there. Another thing that's going to have to happen is the NCHC as a whole is just going to have to play better as a non in non-conference play.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Um, NCHC sucked last year non-conference and it showed because only was it it was three programs that made it into the tournament last
Which
year.
is still pretty good. Yeah,
That's
ASU
fine, but
got
like the NCHC, it's not you got to have more than that usually.
yeah.
And that's with a Arizona State probably should have made it. And we had a team that was good enough to make it, but just didn't because of, like you said before,
We
prior
lost too many
losses and
games.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I mean, you preached that, you know, late second half, middle second half that you didn't think they're going to make it. And obviously, people hold out hope. And because, I mean, I held out hope for a long time because it's just on paper that doesn't look like a team that can't make the tournament. And
Well, there's no
it
excuse
happens,
to not
but
ever make the tournament when you have our
mhm,
resources, our players, the coaching
exactly.
staff we have at our disposal. And I think Dane Jackson knows that. And there's a lot of pressure on him right now. And he's done like I said, we haven't even played a game yet, but he's done a good job of honing his resources. And I mean, just putting our name back out there to the entire, like when we
Right.
landed Verhoff and Reshny, that spoke to a lot of Western Canadian kids who are younger than them who are like, oh shit, this North Dakota school,
hmm
like they're finding out about college hockey. And, I
hmm
just think Dane Jackson, we talk about getting back to, I think culture, I think the word culture is extremely overused in the context of sports. But I think Dane Jackson, and not to sound cliche, but I do think he is, and this is what I think every former player was saying, he's the embodiment of Sioux culture. So
That's good.
if there's a time to use the word culture, it's with Dane Jackson.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Yeah, so, with that being said, I think we'll kind of move, we've been talking about it for a while, so we'll move into a different kind of segment here. We'll kind of go through some quicker stuff because we got to wrap things up pretty soon
Mhm.
here. Uh, got on the list here, some of the stuff you see in the news, but are again, I kind of alluded to this. I did allude to this earlier that UND got ranked second by the CHN for the incoming freshman class. Obviously, something great that you want to see. Like you couldn't tell if it was second or they didn't have numbers next to them. It was just Michigan State, North Dakota, Boston
Mhm.
University, which obviously is in alphabetical order. So I don't know which one's which. I'm just going to assume UND's number two. Nevertheless, we'll go through our pick to click here. We'll kind of share who we think is going to maybe start off good right away and someone that, you're going to expect to produce in the first game.
Yeah, I'll go first on this. I think for the pick to click, you want to go with an upperclassman because that just makes
hmm
sense. Who do I think? Oh, it's so tough because there's so many good upperclassmen. I really wanna say DJ, but
Yep.
I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna say I wish I want to say Ellis Rickwood. I think he's it's tough because he's coming from a different conference, but
Hmm.
they need him to be good. They're Carter Wilkie, he was a good player last year, but we needed Carter Wilkie to be very good at the start of the year last year.
Yep.
And I,
And he
I
was
don't know if
not.
he was what we needed him to be. I think
Hmm.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if Ellis Rickwood carries at the start of the year, we are going to be in good shape. So I'll make him my pick to click.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Um, I was gonna say DJ, but I feel like DJ is one of those guys where um he kind of starts off slow the first like two games and then he'll kind of pick
Yeah,
it up right away. It just kind of takes him some time to gel into it. I'm gonna pick Bennett Zamolik. I think
that's a good one.
maybe not producing at a high point level, but a guy who's gonna be
Mhm.
out there and he's gonna be doing his job right away. Guy who's
Yeah.
been waiting to play for a year, anxious, ready to play, been training, excited to play. He's got
Mhm.
the C, he's got something to prove right away. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna step up in a big
It,
way, and if he does. If you can lead that decor with Abram and Jake Livanovich at the same time, I think you're going to be in pretty damn good shape. Having
yeah.
a top three core like that is pretty sweet.
It'll be interesting to see how much they play him at the start of the year because they're going to limit his minutes. They want him all year. He's not going to be playing 20 minutes blocking shots. Like our D core is deep enough to
Hmm.
where they're gonna limit his minutes at least at the start of the year, I'd imagine. So I'm curious how much he's gonna play right away. That'll be something to track. Yeah, how much Z's on the ice.
Yep. All right. So we got our picks to click. You chose Elias Raquid, and I chose Bennett Samolk. Obviously, you could pick Jake Livanovich. He's obviously going to be good right away, but
Yeah, that's
try to be
yeah.
out of the box.
Hmm.
Some sleeper picks, some guys that we think are not being planned on having a breakout season, but could potentially be a good point producer and producer in general to the team down the stretch.
Uh, I think I'll start with a freshman on this. I think Jack Kernan could be really good. He's going to be very
Hmm.
good when he's an upperclassman. But I think if he sneaks into that fourth line role, maybe third line,
Sure.
I've heard he's got a good shot. So I mean, look for him. I
6'2",
think he's
200.
yes,
Good body.
he's big. He's going to be a good player. So he would be my. I'll just say him. Yeah, my sneaky player to watch.
Good one. For me, oh, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Kind of, kind of looking at Kay Littler right now.
Yeah, that's a good
Feel
pick.
like he's a guy that you don't name that doesn't jump off the screen at you, but a guy who showed promise at the end of last year,
Hmm.
contributed in big moments, and I think I'm hopeful for him. I should say. I think he'll get some opportunities here, and maybe be like a Griffin Ness as an underclassman, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I'm super happy with that pick, but I'm gonna roll with it. He's a big guy. He'll throw the body. Um, he won't play top 6 minutes for a couple of years, but um, yeah, I'll just go with that. Someone to just kind of keep your eye on, and then we'll do breakouts here. So who do we think is going to break out that has
Oh,
um maybe not yet?
I think
Got a
I don't want
couple
to call it a
guys right
no
on
brainer.
here.
I don't want to call it a no brainer, but a guy who you really want to make I would say they need to make the big sophomore year jump. I think you just got to go Max Swanson. Like
Hmm.
he there were flashes last year. He plays hard both ways, but like I said, he's a smaller guy. He had to adapt to college hockey. I think now the coaching staff are going to put a lot on his shoulders to be like, hey man, you're gonna need to
Hmm.
be a leader this year because come your junior year, you're going to have to be one of the guys. So I Max Swanson, I think that's the clear pick, yeah, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. That's a pretty easy one there. Can't really go wrong with that. You gotta hope that he can start playing at an elite level at in college like he did at the USHL.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll go with who It's hard to tell if Benson can even break out now. I think you could technically still put him as yes, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna try and pick someone who's not Ben Strinden. I'm gonna go with fuck it. I'll go EJ Emery. Had
It's a good
promise
pick.
last year. Didn't play a lot of minutes, but um he's gonna have more opportunity this year. I think
Well,
he's a
he
guy that you
played quite a
just
bit last year. He's just gonna
yeah,
have he'll be more comfortable this year.
yeah, exactly. He's just a guy that you guys gotta put on the ice and let him do his thing. Gotta
Hmm.
trust him a little bit more. He's a big guy, and I don't know how much weight he put on this summer. I assume probably 10 pounds. I'd like to think 10 pounds, something like that. Um, yeah, I mean, you're hopeful. He's a first round pick. He's got to prove something. And
Hmm.
there are quite a bit of naysayers out there about EJ. But again, that a freshman is just someone you got to take lightly. They're
They
not going to
threw
perform to expectations
He
right
got
away.
thrown right into the fire last year when,
Hmm.
especially when his mullet got hurt. I think he was playing over 20 minutes a night towards the end of the
Hmm.
year. I don't know if there was any more freshmen that were playing more than that in the entire NCAA. He was playing a lot. So he's going to be just a much more refined, consistent player this year. Hopefully we get a little more offense out of him. So yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you'll see him on the score sheet. Um, Yeah, that's pretty much all we got on the list here. We'll just go into a quick hit real quick. Quick hits is something we want to do recurring here. But one thing that has come up in the last couple days, I heard about it like maybe a week or two ago, but something that's been talked a little bit on Twitter now is that, talking about the new head coaching change. Brad Berry, not a fan of bubbles. Yeah, let Colton Sanderson is the last person to wear a bubble for UND, and that was in 2016 when they won the national championship. And the bubbles are officially back.
Back. Yeah.
New uniforms, and we got two new bubbles. It looks like Will Zeller's number 9 and Elias Frickwood number 29 are going to be wearing their bubbles. Uh,
Hmm.
Zellers is one of those guys where you just look at him, he's like that kid looks like he's gonna wear a bubble. He's like a Will Smith or something like that. Or I don't
Yeah.
even know if Will Smith wore a bubble or not. I know Ryan
I
Leonard did, but
If you're gonna wear a
uh,
bubble, you got to be an elite player, especially I think after
yeah,
we ran cages for so long. So otherwise, you kind of look stupid in my opinion. But
yeah.
yeah, no.
Fish bowls are back in Grand Forks, and not talking about it Speedway. Um, the fish bowls are back, and maybe you and you can finally put it home again because we haven't gotten close to national championship since we've had a bubble, and I'm pretty sure there's been a bubble on every single UND national championship team when bubbles have existed. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens. But with that being said, I think that'll do it for the first episode of the new season. Uh, this is September 30th, a couple days before Manitoba game. We'll hopefully be back pretty soon. I'd like to do one next week, ideally, and try and get these rolling out on a more regular basis.
Hmm.
Think anything you got to say before we head off here?
Uh, Not really. Just it's gonna be a good season. Excited to see the new coaching staff, and
Hmm.
I'm excited. Expectations are high, and like I said, if you're a fan, you're listening to this, the team is probably going to struggle right away. Don't get mad. Like
Exactly.
it's
Don't
it's
be huffing and puffing and go to SueSports.com
yes.
and write your
That
shit
no
or
one
on
on
Facebook.
half the people on Sue Sports don't know what they're talking about. It's embarrassing.
Hmm.
Not to knock. I'm sure there's listeners who are on there a lot, but some people's opinions on there are actually they're dumbest
Yeah.
crap I've ever heard in my life. So anyway, but
Yeah,
yeah,
be patient, it's
patience.
hard to assemble a team and have 15 new guys and have it go extremely well right away. So just be
Mhm.
patient and be optimistic. It's going to be a good year, and we'll be happy to be alongside you guys covering it. So thanks to
Perfect.
all of our listeners. Thank you for sticking with us. And I know it's been a little while since you last heard an episode from us, but we're happy to be back, and we're hoping that you're happy for us to be back as well. Make sure to drop in the comments any suggestions and stuff you'd like us to talk about. We're always looking for new things to do. Anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like for us to change, let us know, and we'll try and get it done. So that being said, I think that's going to wrap up this episode. See you guys in the next one.